Please, ma, can you also tell me the basic tips on how to build a healthy relationship?
You must learn how to be alone. It's very important. I'm saying these things because I know too many relationships. I see a lot of young ladies. I see a lot of them. You know, you're always on call. You're tormenting the man, you know, and stuff like that. So you need to learn how to be alone. Find your own purpose. Find what you need to do. If you need to work, go and work. Do business, go and do business. Find something to do. Get yourself, get a life, you know. Hi. May I know you? Can you introduce yourself to me?
Okay. My name is Chioma Echendu.
Okay, so I guess you're here because you have some questions to ask me, stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. My question is on the area of love, relationship, and marriage. I want to find out some certain things I ought to know as an adult that will help me in the nearest future.
Okay. Okay, you know that's very broad.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead, ask the questions.
Okay.
So,
I
okay, like you said, love, marriage, relationships at large.
Yes.
Okay, let me start by asking you, what do you think about love?
Okay.
What's your opinion, your perspective on love?
Love is an intense feeling.
Yeah.
I think it happens between two parties, a male and a female.
Okay.
It can otherwise be extended to the other side.
Okay.
And then a relationship has to do with two persons coming together, you know, being connected in one way or the other. So.
Okay. Okay, so what exactly are your fears? What exactly do you want to ask?
Okay.
Because it's good to know what your concerns are in those areas.
Okay. I actually want to know the ways to build an ideal relationship.
Okay.
Because I believe I was in a relationship some years ago,
okay,
which I know I made some mistakes.
Okay.
But then I've been able to correct myself. And I want to know more on how to ensure that this present one works very well compared to the previous one.
Okay. Okay, what I like to say is this. I don't think we should be very mechanical about it, as in trying to make it work. I don't think it should be that. I think it should be you. We should first, the first thing I always say is go on a journey of self-discovery.
Okay.
If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you like, you won't know what you want in someone. Because if you're just general, anybody comes and you just like the person, you get into trouble. There are many things that you now will happen in the relationship that you're like, I don't like this, I don't like this. That's why you kind of find people now go into, like some people say, you have to kiss many frogs before you get to your prince. Not exactly true. It's because you're testing the waters. But when you go on the journey of self-discovery, you'll find that you would know who you are, what you can take and what you can't take. You'll know what you don't like, your no-nos, your values. You get to understand those things about yourself. And then you now seek for someone who resonates in those areas with you.
Okay.
Your relationship, that's a good start. Once you don't get it right from that point, you would have a lot of challenges in your relationship.
Okay, Ma, you're talking about discovering myself. Does it entail me setting some boundaries, like putting up a principle that I ought to abide with or I ought to set once I go into a relationship? Does it?
No, self-discovery is know who you are. You don't get into a relationship first until you know who you are.
Okay.
So you go, first is to understand yourself. What do you like? For instance, if I ask you, what do you like? What kind of eggs do you like? What kind of eggs do you like to eat?
Okay, boiled ones.
You like just boiled eggs?
Yes.
You know there's so many types of eggs.
Yes.
There's scrambled eggs. There are different types of eggs.
Yeah.
So you just like boiled eggs.
Okay.
Is that what you just like?
Yeah, I prefer them boiled.
You just prefer them boiled.
Yes.
Good. Now, those are the kind of things you need to find out who you are, what you like, first before you think of somebody else. If you haven't found peace with yourself, you can't find peace with someone else. Someone will only love you if you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, don't expect someone else to love you. So you must understand who you are. Those parts of you that are probably not so pretty, if you can make peace with those parts of you, someone will love you. Because he sees that you already love you. You're not depending on him for validation. Because that's what we do, and that's what kills relationships. When we are waiting for the guy to wake up in the morning and tell you, I love you. If he didn't tell you, he doesn't love me today. Because already you have issues with yourself. But when you have made peace with yourself, you have that, you don't need validation from anyone. Okay. So whether he tells you you're pretty, you're not pretty today, doesn't mean anything to you. You won't go lose sleep over that and say, oh, maybe I'm not so pretty today. No, those things are very insignificant. When you have found yourself and you have made peace with yourself and you love yourself. So the first thing in building a relationship is go on that journey and understand who you are. When you have made peace with yourself, you love yourself, love being, and the next is that you must love being on your own. Okay. Too many people like to be attached. You find people break up here, this relationship, and next they are jumping into another one. You don't need to be with anyone. You must love being alone. Okay. Love spending time with yourself. You just take yourself out. You just decide, oh, I want to have this special meal. Give yourself a treat at home. Buy stuff, come to the house, watch movie at home, put on your TV and you're laughing at the jokes on the TV and you're enjoying yourself and you go to sleep. It doesn't have to be with a human being, another person, a man. That's the challenge that we keep having. So that's one thing. If you can enjoy being alone, you won't have a problem with the man if the man tells you. If the guy tells you, oh, I want to spend time today with my friends, you're not going to say, oh, I'll be on my own. You love being on your own already. You get my point? Right. So you need those are the two major things you need to do first. Settle first, then you can now start thinking of a relationship.
Ma, what if in a situation you come across a guy like you so much love, as in you're so used to him, and then you're this kind of a person that you're already used to him, like you want to be with him at all times. Can you forsake some certain things?
Okay, let's clear something.
Yeah.
Let's use the right word. Permit me, okay? Love. Can we just say someone you're deeply, someone you really like?
Yes.
Yes, because...
And you can't go a day without calling the person, checking up on the person. Like, you always want to be with this person to share some ideas, communication, I don't know.
Okay, so what's the question?
Like, can you forsake some things?
Like what?
Let's just say you've just set a standard that you want to be on your own, but at the same time, you still want to be with this person.
No. Being on your own has nothing to do with being with someone. You must love being on your own. The problem is that so many of us are clingy. You want people, you want that guy in your space all the time. Fine, you want him all the time, but he might not be in your space all the time. He has work. And you can't tell him to call you all the time. Men don't relate like women. They don't think like women. Women like calls all the time, like you checking on them all the time. Men might find that irritating. A lot of guys find that irritating. It doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means that that's not their thing. Men don't respond in that manner. So if you don't have peace, if you have not learned to be on your own, you have a problem with that if he doesn't check up on you all the time as you would want, because you're like, okay, maybe he doesn't like you. No, he likes you. And you don't have those insecurities. And once he finds, any man that finds a woman who is very confident in herself, most likely he's not going to leave you. Okay. Yes. A lot of guys have a problem with this insecurity, and women have a lot of insecurities. So that's one of the things that are no-nos in relationships, where you're always checking up on him. And then if you have access to his phone, of course, you pick it up. You want to check, who did he call last? Those are insecurities. But when you are cool with yourself, you know that him being with you is a privilege.
Okay, Ma.
Yes.
Thank you. Ma, a lot of people tend to say when once you love somebody, or when once you're in a relationship with somebody, there ought to be sex. So I want a clarification on that. Must there be sex in a relationship? Okay, let's just assume Valentine is fast approaching. So a lot of people have this exactly. So a lot of people have this mindset that there must be enough, now enjoyment. So I want a clarification. Must there be sex in a relationship?
There shouldn't even be sex in a relationship.
Okay.
No, sex is for marriage. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to like that, but that's the truth. Sex is for marriage. But we know that the world, what they're doing now, a lot of people are just going ahead and having sex. The truth is that sex kind of hinders the development of a relationship. Because when you get into sex, it affects your ability to make some decisions.
Okay.
And it affects your ability to pull out in some way. Now, if you start having sex with someone, there's some kind of connection that happens. And you would not want to leave. Even you as a female, you're like, no, if I leave, it's like he used me and stuff like that. And the guy too will start, there's a kind of connection. You cannot make some informed decisions when sex is involved. So sex is not okay to have sex now when you're in a relationship. Hold on sex and try to understand each other, enjoy being together. If you get into marriage, you will have the rest of your life. Just imagine, do the math. How old are you now? And then just imagine you live till like 80 years. Can you imagine? So you have the rest of your life for that. There's no hurry. The first thing you need to do, that's why marriages are breaking, you need to understand yourselves. That's the time of relationship is the time you need to actually spend time understanding each other, knowing what you can take, what you can't take, and stuff like that. That's what you need to be doing. So Valentine, they're supposed to take themselves out, try to get to know each other more. Because probably work, school may have taken their time. That's one day they can actually say, okay, let's go out and just spend time, get to know each other better, and stuff like that. Yeah, so it shouldn't be sex.
Thank you, Ma. But Ma, I'm still confused. Like,
yes, please.
You're saying sex is not supposed to be involved in a relationship.
Yes.
So are you trying to say, okay, let me use myself for example. Let's assume I'm in a relationship.
Yes.
Let's say 6 months.
Yes.
And then this guy is always spending on me, buying me things, understand? Showing me love and the rest of it. Are you trying to say, at least for once, I should not?
Okay, so that's what you're telling me now.
Because a lot of people say, when once.
Wait, so just hold on. So you're trying to say now that the sex now is the payback.
It's
payback.
The obvious something like.
That's why I say I have a problem with the definition of love. It has a problem. There's a problem somewhere. That's why people are getting it all wrong. Okay, you like me enough to want to spend money on me. Are you spending the money because you want something from me, or because that's just what you love to do? Because you want to see that smile on my face? What makes me happy? That's the big question. So why should you feel, if he says, oh, I just love doing it, I just love making you happy, and then you now feel obliged, okay, what can I do to make him happy? And the only thing you think you can do to make him happy is to have sex with him? Then I think there's a problem somewhere with the lady. You should have that level of confidence, and you should build yourself to that point where, sex is not a reward for anything good anyone does for you.
Because definitely once you guys are moving on, he will definitely ask for sex.
He asks for sex, you say, I'm sorry, those are my boundaries, I'm not crossing those boundaries. And he says, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this relationship anymore. And you're like, scoot off. I'm sorry. That's why I said, when sex is involved, you can't do that. Because there are lots of things you're considering. Oh, he has slept with me like 10 times. You start counting. We've done it. He can't just leave me like that, and stuff like that. But when sex is not involved, your values, that's why I said you must go on that journey of self-discovery. You must have values. You must know what your values are. And if your values are, I will not have sex with anyone till I get married, nobody should put you under pressure. If he says that is what he bought for you, then don't buy for me anymore. Or you can actually return the things to him. I'm sorry, but I will not do sex. Or you lay it out from day one. Whatever it is you're doing for me, all these nice, wonderful things you're doing for me, sex is not going to be involved. Let's get it straight from the onset. Yes. And if he does not have sex in mind, he actually would continue. But if he does have sex in mind, he probably will walk away.
Okay.
It might hurt you, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ma. Please, Ma, can you also tell me the basic tips on how to build a healthy relationship?
Okay, I think I've said 2. Self-discovery first, because that's very important. You must understand your values, your no-nos. Then the second is you must be alone. You must learn how to be alone. It's very important. I'm saying these things because I know too many relationships. I see a lot of young ladies. I see a lot of them. You're always on call. You're tormenting the man, and stuff like that. So you need to learn how to be. Find your own purpose. Find what you need to do. If you need to work, go and work. Do business, go and do business. Find something to do. Get a life, That way, you're not, when the man wants to give you attention, it's appreciated. When you want to give him attention, it's appreciated. So another thing too, when you must develop that confidence in yourself to that point where you're not at his beck and call. It's very important.
Okay.
Many ladies don't know that. He calls you now this minute and tells you jump, and you're like, okay, you drop everything and you're jumping. I think I'm kind of busy. You don't jump every time. When you jump all the time, it puts the value level for him. Okay, so you have to learn to do that. And then communication is key in relationships. Anything, whether it's a love relationship or it's any kind of relationship, communication is key. So you must learn how to communicate properly. Don't keep things in your mind. If the person is doing something you don't like, you must be open. Yes, you must tell the person. But you see, something else is the person willing. Some people don't know how to take truth. So you must understand the person and know how to communicate with the person effectively. Yeah, so if you can do that and then be real in a relationship. Too many people are not real. You're acting drama. You just want to put up a front. But you must be real. Just be yourself in the relationship, yeah. And you'll be fine. Don't strive to make it work. Just be yourself. Okay. Be confident. Live your life. Have a purpose. Have something you're doing. Get a life. It will work. Okay. What will not work will not work. That's just the truth. If you like, kill yourself. If you like, I've seen people who go to the guy's house, go to the guy's mother, they start cleaning the house, they start doing all kinds of stuff. They go to the guy's house, cook 10 types of soup. If it will not work, it will not work. So it's not about how you label. Just be yourself. Okay. Be real. Yes.
Okay, a relationship which is leading to marriage, are you expected as a lady, let's assume that he's your second relationship, okay, automatically is leading to marriage, are you expected to tell him your past life with your ex, as in to be truthful to him, to tell him everything that has gone wrong in the past? Is it advisable to tell him?
I think you should tell him what is necessary.
Even the aspect of maybe you had sex with the man and the rest of it, don't you think it's awkward?
On a very serious note, why would a man want to know if you had sex with your ex?
A lot of guys, as in they want to find out, they want to know.
Then they probably don't know. Well, I have a problem with that. I think that's why it's an ex. That's why it's a pass. I don't think there are many things that should be necessary. You're in a new relationship, so you should think of how you work. And that's why I say it's what is important. For instance, if you had a child, that's important information. You can't hide that. Anything that will affect your relationship, you can't hide it because it must come out. No matter how you hide it, it will come out. So anything, those are significant things. But having sex, I don't see that as being significant. Okay. For me, I would assume that you did it, so I would just deal with it in my head and go past it. So by having to sit the person down and say, okay, you had 5 girlfriends, did you sleep with all of them? Come on, I think that's low, that's big. Yeah, that's not something I think we should, it's healthy.
Okay, ma, please, can you throw more light on the area of building a good marriage?
Okay.
Let's just assume I'm a young girl now preparing to get married. Like, can you enlighten me on how to build?
I always tell people, marriage is not a big deal. If you get relationship right, you get it right. Marriage is just another relationship. Okay. That's just it. So just follow what I've just said. Be real, communicate properly, fight well, fight right, because you will fight. When you tell yourself that I love him so much, you know how we say it, oh, I'm so in love with him, oh, we don't fight, we don't quarrel, it's a lie. That's not a good relationship where you don't fight. Because there are things you do that I won't like, there are things I do you won't like. So bottling it up, sweeping it under the carpet, it will eventually explode and destroy the relationship. So talk about it. So when it's time to fight, fight right. And what I mean by fighting right means that there are certain things that you cannot say when you fight. You can't insult each other to that point where, in fact, you can't insult each other. Yeah, we do those things a lot where you're like, I regret ever setting my eyes on you. Say, no, you can't do that. You don't disrespect each other in fights. Say your mind, say what you don't like, and leave it at that. Don't say things, because words, you can't take them back. No matter how you say, I'm sorry, you can't take them back. You can leave. So that's what they fight right. And then understand that marriage is a lifelong relationship. It's different from all these short relationships. Lifelong relationship means that it spans, you're going to evolve. You see who you are today? Yeah. In the next 5 years, you're not going to be this. There's some things you won't like. True. This boiled egg you won't like it in the next 5 years. There might be something else you discover and you're like, oh, okay, I like my egg scrambled now. You know, you have to understand that he will evolve as well. And you must be growing as well. You must get to that point where he's changing, you're understanding that he's changing, and you go with it. Not saying this was not the man I married. No. It's life. He will change. You will change. And you almost grow with that change and accept those changes and adapt to those changes. You won't have issues. But where you're stuck, it's where a lot of people have issues. Okay. Yeah, so I think you'll be fine. Just don't, people get in there and say, oh, marriage. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just understand that it's just another relationship. Most importantly, he has to be your friend. If you don't marry your friend, you just marry a husband, you're in trouble. Marry your friend, because it's your friend you can talk to. It's your friend that will come in and you don't look as pretty, and your friend will just yab you and understand. Both of you will just laugh about it. Marriages where the partners are friends, fantastic.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. That was a wonderful one. I'm really glad. I'm really honored to have you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.